Did you know that in the first 3 months of life, your baby's brain is growing at an incredible speed, twice as fast as it will ever grow again? By the time they reach 3 months, your baby will have learned more than in the previous 90 days combined. But don't worry, you're not alone on this wild ride. In this video, we're going to break down the most exciting, surprising, and even shocking developmental milestones you can expect during these early months. From their first attempts at talking to their growing emotional world, we'll uncover what's normal and how you can support your baby's journey. Did you know that by 3 months, your baby's vision is sharper than you think? Or that their social smiles are actually a sign of emotional development? These tiny moments can make a big difference. Stick around as we dive into the world of baby milestones and reveal everything you need to know about what's happening inside your little one's brain and body. Ready to see your baby hit some major milestones? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Baby's First Conversations. More than just crying at 3 months old, your baby is beginning to communicate in ways you might not expect. Sure, they still cry to signal hunger or discomfort, but they're starting to use cooing and gurgling sounds to express themselves. These early vocalizations are a baby's first step toward real communication. According to Dr. Harvey Karp, a pediatrician and child development expert, these sounds are your baby's way of engaging with you and signaling that they're interested in their world. As your baby begins to coo, they are also learning how to use their voice for social interaction. It's a sign that they're starting to understand the rhythm of conversation, even if they're not yet forming words. Studies show that babies at 3 months start to recognize their caregiver's voice from a distance, signaling the importance of bonding and attachment during this period. You can encourage this early communication by engaging with your baby. Make eye contact, talk to them, and imitate their sounds. These simple actions teach them that communication is a two-way street. Dr. John Medina, a developmental molecular biologist, emphasizes that, the more you talk to your baby, the quicker their brain will develop. Remember, some babies may develop their cooing and babbling skills a little later, and that's perfectly okay. Every baby is unique, and developmental milestones can vary. As long as your baby is showing some interest in vocalizing, you're on the right track. If your baby is not yet responding to your voice or engaging in any vocalization by the 3rd month, it may be worth discussing with a pediatrician. Chapter 2. Wiggly Wonders. Mastering baby movements by 3 months, your baby is starting to show off some impressive physical developments. One of the biggest milestones at this stage is improved head control. At first, your baby might struggle to hold their head steady, but by 3 months, they're getting stronger. They can hold their head up for longer periods while lying on their stomach during tummy time, which is essential for developing core muscles and motor skills. Dr. Tanya Altman, a pediatrician and author of What to Feed Your Baby, suggests that tummy time should be a regular part of your baby's routine. Tummy time helps babies build muscles they'll use for crawling, sitting, and walking, she explains. Aim for at least 15 minutes of tummy time a day, starting with small sessions and gradually increasing the time as your baby gets stronger. Your baby may also start to grasp objects with both hands, although their movements will still be a little jerky and uncoordinated. This is the beginning of hand-eye coordination. At 3 months, babies often start batting at toys or reaching for items within their line of sight. They might not grab them perfectly yet, but they're learning. You can support this development by offering colorful toys that are easy for little hands to hold. These early movements are foundational for later skills like holding bottles and feeding themselves. Encourage your baby's motor development by giving them lots of opportunities to explore their physical abilities. Lay them on their back and let them kick their legs, or gently hold their hands and guide their arms in motion. You can even help them roll over, which will soon be their new trick. At this stage, babies start to roll from front to back, a huge milestone on their path to becoming mobile. Chapter 3. Eyes Wide Open. Understanding visual milestones. Vision is developing rapidly at 3 months. By now, your baby's eyes can focus on objects up close, and they are starting to track movements. This means your baby is likely to follow moving objects with their eyes and even try to focus on your face when you're close. They're becoming more aware of their surroundings, which is a huge leap in their cognitive development. Around 3 months, your baby's depth perception is improving. This is the beginning of their ability to judge distances and see things in 3 dimensions. In fact, researchers at the University of California found that babies as young as 3 months begin to show signs of depth perception, which is a skill that will help them navigate the world. They can also see colors more clearly, and while they are still drawn to high contrast colors like black and white, they can now begin to appreciate the full spectrum. To encourage this development, consider using toys or objects in bright colors, patterns, and textures. Babies at this age are particularly attracted to faces, so try making silly faces or talking to them from different distances. It's a fun way to support their visual growth while bonding. Research shows that babies are more likely to focus on faces rather than abstract objects, so spend plenty of time in close-up, face-to-face interactions. Your baby may also start smiling at familiar faces, a sign that their social skills are developing in tandem with their visual abilities. By 3 months, babies can recognize familiar people and are beginning to show preferences for certain faces over others. According to Dr. Alan Hendrickson, a developmental psychologist, babies are learning not just to see, but to connect emotionally to what they see. Encourage their visual development by placing your baby in different positions during playtime. Change the scenery and give them new objects to look at. Try using mirrors. Babies love looking at themselves, and they are starting to understand that what they see in the mirror is themselves. This is one of the earliest signs of self-awareness. If you want to stay updated on more baby development tips and tricks, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss the rest of our milestones breakdown. Chapter 4. Tummy Time Triumph. Building core strength. Tummy time is one of the most important activities for your baby during the first few months. By 3 months, babies are starting to gain better control over their head and neck muscles, and tummy time helps strengthen these muscles, which are essential for later skills like rolling, sitting, and crawling. Dr. Tanya Altman, a pediatrician, recommends tummy time as the single best activity to ensure your baby's motor development stays on track. At this stage, your baby may be able to lift their chest off the ground during tummy time, pushing up on their arms. They may even be able to hold their head steady while looking around. These movements are signs that your baby is building the core strength they'll need for other big milestones, such as sitting up unassisted. Dr. Harvey Karp, in his book The Happiest Baby on the Block, stresses that strengthening muscles during tummy time sets the stage for physical milestones. If tummy time isn't part of your baby's routine yet, it's never too late to start. Begin with small sessions of just 2 to 3 minutes at a time, several times a day. Gradually increase the time as your baby gets stronger and more comfortable. You can make tummy time more fun by placing colorful toys or mirrors in front of them. Babies love looking at themselves, and mirrors can keep them engaged while they strengthen their muscles. One trick to make tummy time more enjoyable is to get down on the floor with your baby. Lay next to them and encourage them with eye contact and soothing words. This can help your baby feel more secure and motivated to engage. Research from the American Academy of Pediatrics shows that babies who spend more time on their stomachs develop faster in their motor skills compared to those who spend less time on their tummies. Chapter 5. Sleep like a baby? Understanding 3-month sleep patterns. By 3 months, your baby's sleep patterns begin to settle into a more predictable routine, though you may still experience the occasional night waking. At this stage, your baby is starting to sleep for longer stretches at night, typically anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. The National Sleep Foundation reports that at 3 months, babies need 14 to 17 hours of sleep per day, including naps. Your baby's circadian rhythm, or internal body clock, is starting to take shape, meaning they will begin to differentiate between day and night. They might have longer stretches of sleep during the night, although daytime naps will still be necessary. Dr. William Sears, a pediatrician and author of the Baby Book, suggests that creating a consistent bedtime routine helps your baby feel secure and promotes better sleep. Creating a consistent bedtime routine can make a big difference. Simple actions like giving your baby a warm bath, reading a short story, or singing a lullaby can signal to them that it's time for bed. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends keeping a calming, predictable routine to help your baby associate these activities with sleep. Chapter 6. The Emotional Roller Coaster. Baby's First Feelings. By 3 months, your baby is starting to experience and express a wider range of emotions. While they might not have the words to describe how they're feeling, they can show it through their facial expressions and body language. Babies at this age are developing emotional bonds with their caregivers, and they are beginning to display attachment behaviors like crying when left alone or seeking comfort from familiar faces. One of the most exciting milestones at 3 months is the emergence of social smiling. Your baby will begin smiling not just because they're content but as a way of engaging with others. According to Dr. Daniel J. Siegel, a child psychiatrist and author of The Whole Brain Child, social smiles are a sign that babies are starting to recognize the faces around them and can communicate their happiness. As your baby's emotional world expands, you might also notice signs of fear. They may start to show a little distress when meeting unfamiliar people or in new environments. This is a sign that they are forming attachments and understanding the difference between familiar and unfamiliar situations. This stage is known as stranger anxiety, and it's completely normal. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to stay updated with more baby development tips and tricks that will guide you through each milestone. Your baby's growth journey is just beginning.